Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask Me Anything. I am Adam, KN6QGV with Bridgecom Systems. Tonight, we are actually going to go over everything we did yesterday. We're just going to recap all of that. Then we're going to start getting into questions and answers. Before we begin, if everyone could just do me a favor, like and subscribe down below. That lets us know that you like the content we're providing. And if you would like more presentations like we had yesterday, please let us know in the comments or email us, let us know. So that way we know what kind of material you guys like and we can continue providing that for you guys. Now let's take a moment to welcome everyone. Garnett from Central Florida, KN4URT, welcome. Don from Australia, VK1DON, welcome. It's nice to see you guys on from down there. Dave from Ohio, WB2DFC, welcome. Rick, good evening. KV2LFZ from Kentucky. Milton, greetings from Western Kentucky, KD4MDM. We got Royce in the house, KI5RYF from Texas. We got Alan from Colorado, W0LZ. Welcome. Kathy, it's nice to see you again. KB9NRX from Illinois. We got Mark, KG4GVJ from East Coast, North Carolina. Welcome. We got Greg from Florida, K4PGD. We got Bob from Aurora, AD0XE. Welcome. All right. I'd like to welcome everyone. We are actually having Josh's giveaway this month. He's back and giving out one of our premium handhelds. This month, all you need to do is follow and sign up and follow our SMS. We will be sending out codes. You'll be able to put those codes in and enter into our contest. At the end of the month, we will be giving away one of these Anytone 878 UV2 pluses. So make sure if you haven't already entered, you go there and subscribe and enter now. Okay, so for those of you guys who were here with us yesterday, we actually went over talk groups. I went over and discussed what talk groups are, the difference between static and dynamic. I'm going to show you guys a few of those here, how to manage your talk groups through Brandmeister. And then ultimately, we went over to managing your talk groups through your PyStar, your SkyBridge. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my screen here. Now, as you can see on my screen, we have a list of static talk groups right here. 93, 3100, 3106, and then 3191329. That is the talk group that we do use for our communications that we use sometimes over here in our live streams and everything. So that is the talk group we do use. If we do any kind of net call-ins or anything tonight, we will use that. So take down that number if you don't already have it. That is a way that we all communicate. And if you ever wanted to communicate over to us, you can try and reach us over on that channel as well. And I will make sure we have tonight's talk group up. So now if we wanted to, say you were trying to disconnect, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't disconnect. I can't disconnect. You push the button and you can't disconnect. An easy way is we could come over here and go drop QSO. This will drop the current call. So what we could do is if we click that, it'll drop the current call. Here, I'll just click it just so you can see what it kind of does. Get my over here. Drop QSO. Active call dropped on time slot 2. And then it just drops it. So it's like giving you a break in there. It's not quite disconnecting the talk group, but it might stop that person talking. So if you wanted to put your disconnect through or you wanted to change talk groups or something, you can do that there. Now the other one here, drop all dynamic, is actually going to drop all those dynamic talk groups. Now, what I mean by dynamic is I key up to some random talk group. So let's just say, since I don't have 91 on here as a static talk group and I key up to 91, that becomes dynamic. So what we can do at that point is when you go to dynamic and drop it, it's going to drop all of them. Now what we'll do is we'll add, say we want to add 91 to time slot 2. We're going to add modify static. Now, as you can see, it's adding 91 to the list. And now, as you can see up here, 91 has been added to the static talk group list. So static will come through all the time. It's like a permanently pinned up channel. So when you're on that and you switch to that channel on your radio, you're going to hear that traffic coming through. So be careful with this sometimes, because if you get some of these like 91 on here and you have that going, those things will go for who knows how long. Sometimes those things are just over and over and over. You will have to come here and actually remove it. So let's just actually show you how to do that. So we're going to type in 91 here. We're going to go to delete. We're going to modify the static. Now, as you see, it's removing the talk group from time slot 2. And as you can see, it's no longer there. Now, in parentheses right here, you see 2, 2, 2, and then the bottom one says 1. That is the actual time slot that these are associated with. Now, I am in duplex mode, so I do have both time slots enabled. If you're in simplex mode, it will only allow you time slot 2. Just keep that in mind. So when you do this and you add it up here, it might say when you add it, it's added it to time slot 0. Ignore that. That's just saying because there's only one time slot in there. It's just adding it to that one. Now, if we come over here to Brandmeister, I'm just going to show you guys real quick. Come up to your name, click on System Profile Settings. That's going to make me log in again. Now, under Profile Settings, on the right-hand side here, we have something called API keys. We're going to click here. These are 2 of them I had. This is the one I did yesterday. So we can just do another one, and we can just call it test, just so you guys can see. It brings up this API key up here. You can click copy, and it copies it. I like to leave that open until you're done programming it, because what we do is we come over here. We're going to go to Configuration, Expert. Then we're going to come over here to Brandmeister API, and we're going to paste our API key right here. Once you paste it in there, click Apply. And when you go back to the admin page, you will notice that configuration that I had right here. Whoops. The configuration here that says Brandmeister Manager. This is what the API adds. Full control, so we don't have to come over here. Let me just click OK. So we don't have to come over here, go to My Devices, click on your device, and then modify everything right here. We do have the same functionalities, the same things. These buttons right here, drop call, drop dynamic, drop onto, the same things, call and dynamic. These are the exact same things as the buttons you have in your API. They're just combined together. Alrighty, now with that being done, one last thing we did go over yesterday as well, which is very useful for anyone who has a older radio, or you can't afford it, you're traveling a lot, you can't update your radio all the time, you can't always update to the newest contact list. This is going to be very beneficial for you. What we're going to actually do is we're going to actually come over here to Optional Settings. We're going to click on Display. And right here under Call Display Mode, we're going to make sure it says call sign based. Let me open up this dropdown so you can see it says turn off talker alias, call sign based, and name based. I like to keep it on call sign based because then you actually know who you're talking to, and that's sometimes when you don't get their call sign all the time. You can still see it there. So once we have that set, we're actually going to come over here on the left, and we're going to come down to talker alias settings. Now we're going to make sure this is set to air, so it takes the priority off of the air. So this is going to take it from over the air, Brandmeister's network, or from whatever the radio broadcast is out. And we're going to have it in the format of ISO 8. Now, as you can see, there's Unicode, ISO 7, and ISO 8. ISO 8 is the format you want it in. This will allow you all the different characters from every region of the world. You click OK, right to your radio. Your radio now has that capability. When someone talks over the thing, if they don't have, let's see, if they don't have their DMR ID, or you don't have their DMR ID in your radio, then you'll actually be able to see the name that comes out over the air. Not every time will you have the name come out over the air. Sometimes the names haven't been updated in, radioid.net. But for the most part, it will push out over the radio if it has that information, or from the Brandmeister network from what's available from their account. Now, does anyone have any questions about yesterday's stuff, comments, or anything in general? Anything in general? Anyone have any questions they would like to ask me or need some help with? You guys would like to, see if something works or how something works. You want to see one of our devices, let me know. But in the meantime, let me do this. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys sign up for our Ham Shack redemption giveaway this month. We're giving away over $2,100 worth of equipment. This is including our 878 UV2 Plus, a 578 UV3 Plus, our SkyBridge Plus, an extra battery, a battery eliminator. You get a speaker mic. You get a acoustic ear tube, like the covert ones. You have an antenna, and then you get a leather case, a Duracom power supply, and a battery charger for the car. So if you guys haven't already signed up for that contest, make sure you guys go to that giveaway right now and sign up. How is the talk group display added to the radio? Well, the talk group, you mean like the one that you're on? On most radios, here, let me turn on my radio. I'll show you how you can see on my radio. If you don't have it enabled, we can go through the CPS and I can show you that as well. It's starting up. Now you'll notice, let me see if I can get it to focus. In a second, it might switch here. I think I have it on this radio, maybe not. It usually switches and shows me the talk group as well as, actually that is the ones on top. The talk groups are the ones on top. Now these are all of them that I have in here. Now, if you're looking for the CPS, let me get the mouse over here. Under displays, I believe it is. Oh, maybe there wasn't a way in here. It automatically just shows the talk group. Well, look at that. But you do have channel type, the time slots, color code, I do know, in the volume bar. So those are some of the things you can automatically display as well. Last caller I have here for show both as well. That does the call sign and the ID. So I see both of them. All right. Next question. How do you set up the GPS to the 878 UV Plus clock? This one, I don't actually think there's a direct way. I've noticed it's not 100%. I have had it sync one time or twice, I think, with the GPS. But for the most part, I haven't had that much luck with that. When you come to GPS, though, I get the GPS positioning, just regular GPS mode, and all the inches and how I have it. These are my normal settings. I really haven't seen how to set the clock directly with that, but maybe other than the time zone right there, maybe we can actually talk to Anytone about creating a spot where we could sync it with the computer's time or with the internet's time while it's connected or something. So we can look into possibly something like that. Or even grabbing it from the GPS, because it should be able to. My GPS is off in the CPS right here, but it's on my radio. All right, let's see. Next question. Wow, tough crowd tonight. I think we're gonna have to start doing presentations like yesterday. All righty, anyone? Any questions? Is there anything anyone would like to know how to set up specifically, like APRS, roaming, go through different options? How do you set up scanning? That's a good question. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to come over here, and there are multiple things that need to be done. First off, you need to create a scan list, and you're going to need at least one channel first in that scan list. Okay, we're going to create a name for the scan list. We're going to add the channels we want in the scan list. Then we're going to click OK. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the channels, and I'll just click on this one right here. And what we're going to do is see where it says scan list. Currently says none. We're going to switch it over to that scan list you created and click OK. Now that channel is added to that scan list both ways. And it is needed both ways in order for it to work. It needs to be both in the channel and in the scan list. So when that channel's in that scan list and you actually go to your radio, let me switch to my screen, to me, so you guys can see my radio. If I could find my mouse. There we go. Menu. Go to scan, scan on, and it'll start scanning. Now, I'm not on that channel that has it, so let me go to the actual zone. Okay. Oh, okay, so you push the red button and it stops the scan. So there you go. That's how you set up scanning. I have an Alinco DMR and an Anytone 857. Can I use both on hotspot? Yes. You just need to, on your hotspot, so what I'm going to do is, let's go back to my screen. Let me close this out. Now, all they need realistically is when you're connecting anything to your radio, to your hotspot, It needs your radio ID, your frequencies right here. And then your color code that you have here and the time slots. So if you're in simplex node, you're going to only have time slot 2. And then if you're in duplex, you're going to have time slot 1 and time slot 2. So make sure you're in the appropriate mode. You have the right frequencies, because if you're in simplex, you're only going to have 1. Duplex, you will have 2. Make sure you get these right. And remember, opposite on your radio. So if a repeater has 1 frequencies, you flip them so you're transmitting on the one it's receiving on, and you're receiving on the one it's transmitting on. That is the #1 thing a lot of people get confused about. So let's make sure that you guys flip those when you actually properly put them in the radio. How can I tether my cell phone to my SkyBridge hotspot? That's actually a great question. What we're going to do is we're going to actually come down here. To our Wi-Fi. Now we're going to click on configure Wi-Fi. I already have mine personally in here. But what you'll do is you'll take your cell phone. Now, if you have an iPhone, I need to make this note. Your iPhone will only be visible for about 5 minutes when you're trying to connect the device to your hotspot, to your iPhone hotspot. So make sure that when you're adding this, that after you add it, you reset your hotspot on your device and then the actual hotspot here, your actual SkyBridge. So, because you need to reset that 5-minute window, it takes about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes for the device to restart. And usually in that amount of time, it'll time out and then your device won't connect to it and it can get quite frustrating. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to click on configure Wi-Fi and we are going to scan for networks. It'll take about 10 seconds here. We're going to let that run. And in a second here, there we go. We see a whole bunch of Wi-Fi's going down, So what we'll do is we'll end up selecting our cell phone hotspot. It'll end up bringing it up here. We'll put in the passcode. Once that does that and initializes that first connection, this is iPhone users only, you need to reset your hotspot on your iPhone. So you reset that 5-minute timer. Then once you're done with that, we're going to actually come up here to power and we're going to click on reboot. Once you set up any Wi-Fi network, it requires you to reboot your device. This is another mistake a lot of people do. They go, why isn't it connecting to my Wi-Fi? Why isn't it connecting to my Wi-Fi? Took me a while as well. You're not the only ones out there, guys and ladies. I was sitting here scratching my head. Why? And then one day I just rebooted. It worked. And then I was like, okay, tried that again, set up a new Wi-Fi, rebooted, boom. Now make sure when you're setting up your cell phones for this, that you do 2 things. 1, your cell phone is network 0. It has to be the first one in there because that is going to be the first network it tries to connect to. If you have your home Wi-Fi connected as 0, network 0 on there, every time you go to your car, you go to turn it on, you set up your hotspot, you go to your cell phone, turn it to hotspot mode, and it won't connect. It connects to your home. Sit here, why isn't this working? Oh, this is a POS or whatever, So that's the reason. You got to make sure that you actually have your hotspot set as the #1 network or the 0 network, so it takes priority over all other networks. Once you reboot your device, though, then it will automatically connect back up. I'm just going to come down here. And instead of it saying interface down, it'll be in green and it'll say interface up. You'll see an IP address and everything. And that is how you know it is connected. You will also see this IP when you restart it on the front of the device on the little screen. So if you guys haven't seen that, we have it on our screen. Let me just pull this one out. Let me switch. So you guys can see on the front screen here, there is a screen. It will show up on there. All right. The 878 UV2 Plus, listen to digital monitor on both time slots on a hotspot. Is there a way to directly switch to the last heard talk group? In the radio, I'm not sure if there's actually a direct way of programming that in the front panel. I don't think there is. In the back, there is a way you can leave the last talk group or the last talker. You can, I think, increase the time from how long you can see it. And all of that. You need to, I think there's a few settings, I don't know them off the top of my head, that you could set so to actually take the, you can chirp back to that one or click back, but I don't know off the top of my head right now. If you call in, Rick, tomorrow or something, we'd be more than happy to help you figure that out. I don't know, I'm not at my desk, so I'm in the studio. Notes are at my desk. I missed the information when you covered the talk group number. You talking about the talk group number I put out there for us today, or are you talking about in general what talk group IDs are? If you could specify, that'd be great. What is the 3 beeps I get on from time to time on my 578? Could be one of your alert tones. If I actually switch over here, optional settings. We actually have 3 different type of tones here. We got call permit, call reset, and idle channel. So you might be hearing the idle channel set, but it could be any one of those that you're probably hearing. Could be someone's keying up, could be idle channels idle after someone keying up. It could be, you know, channel reset or call reset. So that's that. Fred has a question here. How to set up TGIF. All right. Now let me close this. Okay. Now there are 2 ways we could set up TGIF. Right now, I'm set up as a gateway. But if I didn't want to, I can actually come down this list, and I'm just going to type TGIF network. I can click this, and just like the normal Brandmeister way, I could put in that password, my password. Now, on that network, you do have to realize when we go to TGIF, now you can't see it because it's behind the logo, but my name is right there, my call sign. Actually going to come down to user security. And right here is the security keys. Copy your security key, and that's your password to connect to TGIF. Now, I'm doing a more advanced configuration here. We did cover this a couple weeks ago. So if you would like to see that, be sure to check out our other stream on that. But if you guys want to see right here, I'm actually going to bring up my configuration to show you the dual boot. DMR gateway. Now, if I scroll all the way down, here we go. Here's my TGIF configuration. Now, as we're going down this, I'm just going to give you a brief explanation because we did cover this in detail in that other video. The PC rewrite is a private call rewrite. TGIF does not actually have any parrots right now. They actually took them down. They were having issues, so they took down their parrot. So in order for parrot to work on TGIF, we did the 4009990, and that converts it to 9990. So what happens is it tries to transmit out through the TGIF network, converts that to 9990, and actually sends it out over Brandmeister. Now, that's the only one that does that. The rest here, where we have talk group rewrite and source rewrite 3 and 4, is actually going with the padding of 400000001. So that's 7 numbers. I might have put one too many zeros there saying that. So it's a 4 followed by 5 zeros and a 1. Now that's saying from talk group 1 to talk group 999999. So if you put a 4 in front of that, that'll be the max number that you can go through that. So from talk group 1 to talk group 999999 will be converted with the 4 padding. So you do 7 digits long with the 4. So if you want to go to North America on TGIF, it'd be talk group 110. So that'd be 4000110 through this configuration, and that'll connect you back over to TGIF. All right, we can move on. When I scan, if there's traffic, the scan stops but does not start up again. Where do I change the parameters for scanning, the length of time? It's okay. That's a good question. Let me find my mouse. There are 2 things we need to do. Here, can we hide the question for a minute? Hide the talk group as well, sorry. All right. I do apologize. It's not all kind of showing up here. There are some options right here. Revert channel to selected. Where am I? Selected talkback, priority selected channel. Some of those are the revert channels. As far as the continual scanning, that would be under scan and optional settings. And don't ask me what the actual mode is. There we go. Each one of these does have an explanation. The CO, here I'm going to change these scans. This is actually how the scan is controlled. TO, CO, and SE. They all have a different type. The explanations are down below. Let's see, it says when scanning, sorry, I need to move this. All right, hide me as well so everyone can see this. There we go. So as you can see, TO, when scanning a signal, the radio will pause for a while, then resume scanning. CO, the radio will pause scanning and then resume until the signal disappears after 2 seconds. And SE will scan the radio, will stop scanning. So you're going to probably want TO. That's probably the setting you're going to want to have here, and that will fix your resume your scan afterwards. So these are your options right here for scanning. Just wanted to, if you ever have any questions about some of our things, you can click and you'll see down here at the bottom, the information changes. Come back up to here. You can always find out what each one of these means right here in the explanation. All right. Zero way to search talk groups in the CPS without exporting to Excel. I wish. You and me both. Everyone here, we all wish. We're all in the same boat. Nope, there isn't. I ended up just cutting down my talk group list number from like 1,700 plus talk groups to maybe 500. And that's still a lot, but it does help a little bit. You know, but there is no search necessarily. Alphabetical is all I can say when you're on a channel and you're looking for it. Everything's in alphabetical. That's the best I can say. But no, yeah, we are limited right now. And hopefully one day we could change that. But as of right now, it is just a request for us. Great question. Hello, Adam. I recently updated my 878 UV2 Plus to the latest firmware, and so the the Bluetooth driver. But I did notice that the APRS TX works fine, but not the RX does not. Everything in, okay. APRS is one of those things, you'll be able to send out the packages, but you won't be able to receive your own. Okay, and you won't be able to transmit on the channel that you're receiving on. So if I come over to my channels, and we're going to jump down to the bottom of my list. We have two channels here. I'm going to go to my APRS analog, 144.39. We want to make sure push to talk is prohibited and APRS RX is on. Now, when you're on this setting and you actually have this in your radio, you will actually receive all the APRS packets that are broadcasted around you. These are the analog APRS packets. Now, digital is not 100% confirmed. It does work a little bit. It's not as reliable receiving as analog, but you can make a digital channel too. For digital, we are actually going to have to do a couple different things. So as you can see, I have my hotspot frequency here. Push to talk, prohibited. We're going to go APRS receive. Data acknowledge disabled. Oh, this one actually has one error. SMS forbid on. DMO simplex is the last setting you need. Once you have all these set, then you should be able to listen to digital on there as well. This is the digital configuration. It's just, it depends on how, oh, one last thing, forgot, APRS US. 310-999, the talk group. Make sure you have that talk group set. Once you have all that set, you should be able to listen to them. I haven't received as many packets as I have on analog. Analog, they just flood in. Digital, I get them occasionally. I see them here and there, but I've seen a lot more packets over analog than I have digital. So if your analog is working well and you can receive the analog APRS and you know your configuration's right, digital, you might take a little longer to receive. But that was a great question. Thank you. From Venezuela. In expert mode under Pi-Star remote, what does service kill and service restart do? Okay, service kill and service restart are actually two features that are available, and I will actually pull that up so you guys can see that here. Let me minimize my CPS. Okay, so when you look at what he's talking about here, each one of these has a different one. There's D-Star, DMR, YSF. Now you'll notice here it has service kill and service reset. Service kill, service reset, so on and so forth. What these are the actual private talk groups that you're going to actually put into your radio. And when you do service kill, it's going to stop that DMR service or that D-Star or P25, YSF, whichever one you put in and whichever radio you're on. To restart that service, you're going to send that other code in there So you restart your DMR connection, and that's going to reestablish the connection with your DMR server and the DMR master that you're connected to. The reason this is so important is that sometimes, especially with repeaters, you can use these and disable a thing temporarily and not shut it down. So if someone's rogue broadcasting or sending something, has an open mic sitting there, just sitting on the thing, it's on their side, and then it's the buttons pushed down against something, they can do a service kill, and then they can reestablish the service as well, so that they can drop that connection. It also allows that, for repeaters especially, that you're not going to get that overwork time in there. So you're not going to overrun the repeater with too much traffic or too much power at one point, because it's made for cycles, and you're not going to do a continuous cycle for an hour from someone just sitting there normally. A repeater doesn't do that. There might be continuous activity for an hour. I'm not saying that, but continuous, like say someone doesn't have a timeout timer on their radio and they sit here and key up, you're going to hear them for however long their timer's for. All righty. Well, I do want to say thank you for everyone right now. If you guys are liking what we're doing, if you like my stream and the things we talk about, the topics, make sure you guys like and subscribe down below, so I know this is a way I understand and know exactly what you guys like. If you guys want to see us do more of the presentations like we did yesterday on today's shows, and we want us to go over more different things, let us know. We are looking into possibly doing antennas, talking about the amateur radio licenses. But if you guys have any ideas, shoot them our way. Let us know. We are more than happy to start tailoring these shows exactly to you guys. We want to make sure you guys get what you guys want. So if you guys can provide us information, the more information you provide us, the better we can provide you guys with that information you want. All righty. Well, it's coming to the top of that time, about an hour in here. I want to thank everyone for coming out. It's been a pleasure. I do love doing these things with you guys. I love being here with you guys. You guys saw me yesterday and you see me today. I'm all about this. I'm trying to get something going on the weekends too, so we can see with you guys, meet with you guys on the weekends, have some fun. We're open to a lot of, ideas, but, I really appreciate all you guys coming. And on behalf of Bridgecom Systems, I'm Adam, KN6QGV, with Jeremy, KD5YUZ73.